we all just start in the comfiest position as possible. There's our special guest star Pippa over there. So you can sit, you can recline, you can do what makes you feel the best while I get set up. And I want you to use this. If this is an assignment you choose to accept, I want you to use as much support as you can. So if you're sitting down, you can sit on a blanket, you can use the blocks underneath your knees. If you're reclining, you could have a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees. Maybe you move toward the wall and you sit against the wall. I want you just to be as supported and nurtured as possible. Because truly, support and nurture are sometimes things that we refuse for ourselves. And I'm going to encourage you to accept them in. I'm going to spotlight my video. And we practice that here because we are offering ourselves support and love. And it's sometimes kind of hard. So we're just going to breathe a little bit, just get ourselves oriented. And make sure that if you're upregulated, you're exhaling longer than you're inhaling. If you are downregulated, AKA feeling like a slug, then inhale for a little bit longer than you exhale. Think of your air, right? In yoga, it's like prana, life energy. And when we do breath work, it's called pranayama, breath work. But it's all about how we keep that energy moving in our body and how we restore our body to balance. We all, excuse me, there we go. We all of our bodies want homeostasis. Our bodies want balance and evenness. So it's kind of like helping our bodies. The first step is recognizing the way we're feeling, sometimes difficult, and then assisting our bodies and our nervous system to recenter. So that's what we're going to do. While we're sitting here or reclining here, I just want you to notice how you're feeling at this moment. And how you feel can be on several levels. You could ask your body how your body feels. You could ask sort of your emotional being, how you're feeling emotionally. You could ask your logical brain how your logical brain is feeling. I usually ask my logical brain sparingly because that's also where I get led too far afield. It's the body, the emotions, right? Your nervous system. How do you feel right now? If you have another layer of interpretation come in on top of like that wisdom from your body or your emotions, if you have a layer of like, hey, you really shouldn't be thinking that, or hey, you shouldn't be feeling that, it's too long ago, or that is that's kind of mental nonsense. The truth is really how our bodies feel, how our energetic, emotional body feels. And you can take, like, sometimes I imagine that I have a little flashlight and I'm going through my body and I'm like, hello, how's everything going in here? And I'm like shining a little flashlight around. How's that arm? How's that shoulder? When you meet a place that has something to say or has something lurking, you can just stand with it, sit with it. Maybe you've scanned the whole body. Maybe you're still, in the neck and shoulders. This is a tool that you have now that you can use at any time that feels right. You can use this during the practice as well. So in your mind, maybe you have got kind of a little catalog, right? So for me, I've looked through my body and I can see that my one cheek is like doing kind of like an Elvis thing where it like twitches, a little twitchy cheek. And so I'm going to go back up. I'm going to revisit it. And using like the deepest wisdom, not your logical brain, you are going to ask, like I will ask this cheek, I'll say, hey, what do I need to know? This is where we practice receiving those answers. What do I need to know? If you're reclining, allow that message, right? So you're kind of reclining, your belly's up. Allow that message to sink down into your back body. If you're sitting up, allow that message to come down, like that cracked egg from the top of the head. Allow it to sink down through your body and down into the bum bones, into the hips, into the earth. And now for the next 5 rounds of breath, I invite you, if you have some wisdom that you just got, and you realize that there's a little something that you want to kind of let go of or let be or put to the side just for the next few minutes, I invite you to exhale and imagine like putting it over to the side. If you don't have anything that you would like to release or let be, that's cool too. Just breathe and just feel your body here on the ground, on the earth. Just relieved exhales. You did it. You made it. We're here. And after this next inhale and exhale, if you're reclining, you're going to make your way slowly up to seated. Those of us who are seated already, make yourself as comfy as you can. If you need to readjust, do a little wiggle around. That's awesome. I'm just going to push this back a little bit more. Don't need to see my bedspread there. Okay, so we will meet probably in crisscross applesauce. However, if crisscross applesauce doesn't feel good to you, you could do Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together and knees wide. All right. And I want you all to connect down through your sitting bones. Like really feel your bum bones. If you've got to wiggle around a little bit to do that, that's cool. And then from that connection, feel a lengthening. You're pressing down, so you get that little rebound effect of lengthening up. The shoulders maybe need to get rolled a couple of times. And then let's think about the head, the weight of the head. So to review, if our head is forward in a forward facing posture, it's like something like 40 pounds of pressure on the spine and the neck. If it's just a little bit further back, it's like 20 or something. And then if your head is balanced over your spine, then you've got like 8 pounds of pressure, the weight of your head. So we want to balance that head so there's no forward facing pressure, chin forward posture, and we have a length in the back of the neck. So we've got that beautiful median, that beautiful posture we can come back to. Let's take a couple of cat-cows. So if I'm in Baddha Konasana, it's easy for me to grab a hold of my shins because I like the way that feels. Maybe you like to grab a hold of the knees. We'll just press into the bum bones and lengthen the heart, breathe in, and then exhale. Belly button's going to go toward the spine and you'll round back and then press down and inhale to lengthen. Exhale, belly button scooches you back, round back, and keep it going a couple more times. Be interested in the fluidity of the movement, right? Is it there? Is there fluidity of the movement? Some days there's not. Maybe sometimes a part of your body has more fluidity, right? So for me, my thoracic spine usually is less fluid than the rest of my spine. And then instead of taking efforts to fix yourself, just say hi to it. And then let's do this last exhale and return back to neutral. And we'll take a seated forward fold. If you need to adjust your pillows to do so, like me, go for it. If you're in crisscross, maybe you come into Baddha Konasana so that the hips are more even. So I've got my little blocks underneath the knees for support. And then we're just going to tip forward. And when you get to that forward place, that forward fold, you can drop your head if that feels good. We have a special guest trying to sneak in through the door. I can hear the breath of a Newfoundland dog outside of my door. She's trying to sneak in. She's making really great snorting noises right outside the door. I hope that you're enjoying them. To rise back up to seated, everybody breathe in deeply and then scooch the belly button in and then press into the sitting bones, rise back up to that neutral spine so the head is balanced over the spine. Okay, now we will just simply drop the chin toward the chest, but think about opening the space at the back of the neck instead of just going and squashing the front of your neck. Opening up the space. Chin toward the chest, full breaths. And reverse that to come back up to seated. Realign the head. Let's do a little head and eye moves. So I want y'all to look down to your right with your eyes gently. And then you're going to very gently release the right ear toward the right shoulder. And you'll just hang out here. And your eyes can be closed. You just have that soft, gentle focus. As things shift in your neck, you're welcome to wiggle around a little bit. And breathe in. And then you can release the head down, chin toward chest. And then help the head back up. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. So you'll look down to the left gently. And then woof, gosh, left ear, left shoulder. Oh. When you encounter something like I just encountered in my neck, I encourage you, instead of fighting it or keeping a list of grievances you have against your body, just say, oh, hi, okay, we're working with that today. Interesting, new, cool, okay. Go ahead and release the chin down toward the chest. And let's take a gentle ear to shoulder roll, chin to chest, ear to shoulder. Just keep it going a couple of times. And then return upright. Oh, interesting things happening in my neck today. Now we will look up to the left gently and take the right ear toward the right shoulder. This is the one where I tend to lapse back into the chin forward posture. So this is a good reminder. Lots of space at the back of the neck. And you're just looking somewhere over to the left. You don't have to look at the ceiling, just gentle gaze. Oh, there it goes, everybody. I hope those of you who are newer to this practice, these are great exercises for your nervous system. And when you yawn or you sigh, that's good news. It's working on you. Drop the head and then bring the head back upright. Okay, now we will look up to the right and we'll take the left ear toward the left shoulder and then adjust for the back of the neck. Just soft breath, gentle. Oh, there's another one for you. Ooh. And then release the chin to the chest. And then head comes back up. We'll roll the shoulders just slowly and consciously a couple of times. And then reverse it. This is the one that feels super weird for me. Okay, and now I'm in Baddha Konasana. I'm going to go back to crisscross just to give my hips a little break because hypermobility. And then we're going to take a gentle little twist here with the thoracic spine. So I'm going to have my right hand, I'm going to place my right hand on my left knee. And then already I've kind of twisted following my arm. I always put my hand on my heart because that helps me to remember which part of my spine I'm twisting. And so with my left hand on my heart, I'm just going to turn the heart over to the left very, very gently. Oh, Lord, D. Y'all, somebody send help. I don't know how to fix that. Oh God. All right. And then if you feel like it, you can put your left hand back behind you. You're looking over to the left. The neck is not going wild and looking way to the left. Just you're going to hang out where you can open the space. And then return to neutral, pause, little counter twist, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I've got my left hand and I'm going to place it on my right knee. And I noticed on the other side, I kind of rocked my hip up. So I'm going to make sure that I keep both sitting bones down for this one. And hand to the heart. hand to your heart, everyone. And then just a gentle little twist over to the right. And you can hang out there. You can put the hand behind you. This twist is from solar plexus up. The belly button, you know, it's getting kind of some twist, but we're not twisting the low back. It's all that gorgeous upper back. And return yourself to the center. Perhaps there's a counter twist. Yep, there was. And back to the middle. If you're sitting crisscross applesauce and you can flip which legs are in front, go for it. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. Today it feels weird, so I've got my the blocks on high. We're going to open through the side of the spine. So here's how it goes. I will walk my right hand out to the right. I'll keep my left sitting bone down, and I'm going to lengthen up and then over to the side. Now, some of us have very dainty shoulders, and we do not want to antagonize them. So one thing that I do is I keep my hand, my left hand, and I press it down into the hip crease, and that really roots the left hip in, and then I can open through my side body here. Some of us want to get a little more excited, and if you want to protect your shoulder, just keep those fingertips on the shoulder and then lift that elbow up toward the sky. Now, if you're really amazing with your shoulders, you can extend. I'm not, so I'm hanging out here. Whatever you're looking at, allow the way you're looking to be soft. That's going to influence your thinking. It's going to influence how you view yourself. It's going to influence how your muscles relax. If you don't believe me, look at something with intensity and then notice what happens to your body. And rise back up to seated. Ooh. And then other side. So left hand goes out to the left. Boop, boop, boop. Little spider fingers down on the mat. And we'll lift up and then open to the side. And the point is right, I'm opening through my right side body, but I'm also trying not to squish my left side body. So there's a lot of length happening. And choose your own adventure with your shoulders. If you're lucky, you can look down and look at a snoring Frenchie like I am. And then we will release everything back to center. Move as you need to because the body is weird. And then let's take an extended leg forward fold. So I've got my bolster. Those of you who I don't expect anyone to have a bolster. So if you don't have a bolster, a towel or a pillow, whatever you have, slide it underneath your knees. This is going to facilitate taking a little bit of the intensity out of the hamstrings so that we can concentrate on the length of the spine. Excuse me. So another thing, heels down, toes up. There's my feet. Hello. And we're going to keep the heels down and the toes up and the knees pointed up as we come into the forward fold. Hypermobile people love to externally rotate. Okay, so bum down, little tilt forward of the pelvis, and then just think about lengthening from the bum bones. I don't know what I did yesterday, but apparently I used my hamstrings a lot. So this is where I'm going to stay. Some of y'all will be able to get further, maybe taking your heart towards your toes. Please be aware that every single human does this. When we run out of flexibility in our hamstrings, we fold in half in the mid-thoracic spine. So if you've just done this, ease up, re-lengthen, and then come forward, just concentrating on that length in the back. So an advanced yoga move is to draw to mind something, someone, a place, a thing, a feeling, a memory that is very heartwarming for you. Maybe it's somebody that you had that you really loved. Oh, so excited to see you, you know, and you bring that person to mind as you're doing this. And you let that feeling wash over you as you're holding this pose. Notice what happens to your body as the way you're viewing the world softens, the way that you're thinking of the world, the way you're thinking about the thing that is valuable, that you're filled with love for, how when you think about that and you let that wash over you, then your whole body changes. There went my hamstrings. Miracle. And then we're gonna press into the bum bones. And when you exhale, scooch the tummy in and come up to seated, realign. One more thing before we come down onto the back. We will do a hip and a back and leg opener. So you've got the pillows or the bolster underneath your knees. Excuse me. You bend the knees a little bit, and I'm going to scooch my bolster over to my right. So it's just underneath my right leg. And then I'm going to bring my left foot in, bump it against the bolster, excuse me. I'm always trying to work on how y'all can see more of this, but that might entail me moving into my closet. Okay, so we've got the bolster underneath the leg, doot, 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 doot. And then I've got my block underneath my knee to keep me from overextending because of who I am as a person. And then the same thing, gentle forward fold. Sometimes it can feel good to relax with your head in your hands. I look very casual right now, but it feels good. If you want to, you could work out a way to rest your head in your hands like this, your eyes in your hands. We have French Bulldog pranayama going on right now. Gentle snorts from the peanut gallery here. And then with an exhale, come all the way back up to seated. Ta-da! And then we'll switch. So I'm going to keep my left leg bent. I'm going to slide my bolster all the way under. Boop, bop, boop. Sorry, little Pippa. And then bring my right foot into the bolster. This is my tender knee, so my block is on the highest setting. And then take your forward fold. So for me, I'm encountering, many of you know that I have a lot of injections to keep some of my chronic pain at bay. And as I'm hanging out here and I'm dropping my head, the back of my neck is like, listen, lady, stop putting needles in us. And so I am going to ease up a smidge and just be, compassionate and listening. It's not going to do me any good to muscle through something. And then bring yourself back up. And we will move the props to the side, but have them, available. And we're going to come down onto the back. I'm just going to bring my little clock with me. all the way down. If you want to do a gentle roll down, like if you've had a bunch of injections in the back of your head, you could hang on to the back of your head and then do a little roll. Whoops, roll out of camera and then come back into it. There we are. And then drop your feet. So feet are on the floor, knees are pointed up to the sky, pause. And I just want you to feel your sacrum, which is, excuse me, I'm going to show you my bum, but not really. So your sacrum is right above your tailbone. It's kind of between the bum cheeks. It's right at the base of the spine. And it nestles in between your hips. And it's not held in place like with a ball and socket joint or anything like that. It's just hanging out there, and it's held in place with ligaments and tendons and connective tissue. And when we hang out on our back and we just pause, we go, okay, sacrum, what's going on today? You can wiggle around a little bit, right? So I can feel that the right side of my low back is tighter than my left side. So I'm going to just say, oh, okay, sacrum, how you doing? And then I'm going to ask it, what do I need to know? And then just listen. Now I happen to know that the right side of my sacrum is very tight because my left knee is feeling unstable. So I'm going to store that in my brain just for later. And let's release some belly tension, all you beautiful people. We are going to do the powerful hula hooping. So we'll just wiggle from side to side. And what we're trying to do is release muscles in the tummy and allow, it very much feels like my belly's like sloshing to one side and then the other. That's what we're going for. And my tummy might make some powerful noise. Very vigorous floor hula hooping. And then we're also kind of giving a little input to the sacrum. Excuse me. And then we are going to roll over onto the left side of your body. And while I get a drink of water, it's going to look like this. You'll just roll over, fancy that. And you're going to see how this is how a lot of people tend to roll over, but you see how one shoulder is way back and one hip is way back and one knee is way back. It's kind of like halfway. We're going to all the way roll over. So shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, knees are stacked. And then you can, if it feels good, you can use a pillow, a little block as a pillow. And then what we're going to try to do is essentially look about 7 months pregnant. So we're going to try to release the tummy. And then, warning, this can get very gurgly. I like to take my hands, my fingertips, and kind of feel around. Sounds very strange. Feel around on the, in this case, let's see, you're on your left side. Okay. So this, did I say roll onto your left side? Ah, crud. I did. Oh, well, who cares? So you're going to feel inside the right side of the belly. If that grosses you out and you don't like doing it, don't do it. But I like to kind of poke around and feel where there's tension. And then we're trying to release through the left side of the belly, like releasing all the guts to hang down just a little bit. I'll take a couple of deep breaths where we're not constrained by posture. We're not constrained by engagement to try to suck it in. We're just letting it all hang out. And now we'll roll to the other side. So roll to the other side, do the same thing while I get a drink of water. Maybe rest the head. And then you can allow the belly to drop down toward the floor. You can feel around on the left side of the belly. This is where you get to like do a little exploratory mission. Hello, how are you, belly? And then allow the right side of the belly, well, allow things to shift down. It can take a while to allow your tummy to release because we've trained ourselves to really suck it in all the time. I mean, I'm assuming that most of you are like me and you're wandering around like, whoa, engage muscles. If you're not, then amazing. Take a couple of deep breaths, just breathing without all those other constraints. And then roll around and on to your back. All the way down, helping the head as you need to. And then again, wiggle, do a little vigorous hula hooping, see if you get a little bit more sloshy at belly. Now that we've released things, let's consciously re-engage some postural muscles. So we'll work with, hopefully we'll be working with the psoas. When we recruit the psoas, it's kind of like, hello in there, friend, who I can very rarely tell if you're working. Let's see if this works. So to lift and lower, just up to a little march, you want to bring the belly button in. Those of you who are hypermobile, you want to avoid this with the ribs springing out. You want the ribs to stay in toward one another and the back just neutral, not overarching. So we'll engage the tummy. You can lift the pelvic floor and then we'll just float the right leg up to a little march. If it feels like you don't understand how your leg is moving, then you're working with the psoas. And then bring the left leg up. And bring it back down. Take a little breather. Engage again. Right leg. And then right leg down. Left leg. And left leg down. Pause when it gets there. Release, take a breath. Now for this double leg march, I have to put my hands underneath my sacrum because that gives me additional support because my abs sometimes are not strong enough for the job. So this helps keep my back in alignment. I'm gonna breathe in, I'm gonna breathe out, and then I'm gonna bring the belly button in, lift the pelvic floor, and then float both the legs up, double march. And then for me, the hard part is right here. Bring the legs down. Keeping the back in that same position requires a lot of belly work. Breathe in at the bottom. Breathe out. And then belly, pelvic floor, double leg march. Do, 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 do. Here it is. And then all the way back down. And feet are down. Take the hands out from underneath the bum. Rest. If you need to slosh your belly side to side a little bit to release some of the tension, that's totally normal. Okay, now let's do a couple of things on our backs that normally in a studio class we might do flipped around. So let's do a series of lunges on our back. You can have the strap if you know where yours is. If you don't have a strap, like, oh, there it is, I found it. You can do all of these things without a strap too. Don't want you to worry about that. We will start with what I call, when we flip it over, the marriage proposal asana, which is pretty much this. We can start right here. You'd have your hands behind your thigh And we're just encouraging that thigh to move closer to the body. Opening gently through the hip. If you have the strap, you can loop your foot. Sometimes, some days that's a little intense. So it's all what you choose. The next move, if you so choose, is with this leg bent, you can extend your right leg out long. Hyperextenders, just make sure you've got a little bit of bend in that knee and you're not locking the knee out. If you're reaching out through the heel and the knees are pointed up, the toes are pointed up, you may experience some opening along the front of the left thigh. So this is kind of like a low lunge on our back. Now for the next iteration, we'll slide the left leg in again, plant the foot, and then we'll extend the right leg. Oh boy. Perhaps starting with bringing the leg back over the hip so that it's balanced nicely. Hyperextenders, just be careful that you're not hyperextending that knee. This is a very gentle version of half splits, but on our back. Now, as with the half splits, you can make this, you can hang it right here. This could be plenty. You could begin to pull a little bit on the leg, a little bit on the foot or the leg. I'm feeling things. To sort of deepen that. What this would look like if we were on flipped around is that my chest would be coming closer to my knee, but here the knee's coming closer to my chest. If you would like a little bit more, you could hold, you could keep the leg here or bring it back more toward neutral and extend the left leg out. So now we're, oh my gosh, we're working toward the splits, right? This is kind of like the first time you try Hanumanasana and you get stuck. Now, next step, you're going to bend the right knee and you can hold on behind the thigh. You can hold on with straps, or as you come into this a little bit deeper, we'll be bringing the right knee or the right thigh, squashing it kind of into the right side of the body, and then taking it to the outside of the body. So if we were flipped around, this would be like low lunge, or we'd be working toward maybe like dragon, or some folks call it dragon, or low lizard. But the trick is that the right foot, the sole of the foot is, it's like you're stepping on the ceiling, and that right knee is, you've got this nice line. It's not, what I'm trying to say very awkwardly is you're not dropping your right knee out to the right. It's still in a nice line with the foot. And then we'll begin to release, bring the right knee, right leg back a little bit towards center. You can extend the leg. You can slide the left foot in and plant it down. Woo, my right leg is hopping around. And then I'm going to just bring both of the legs down instead of bringing the left leg up immediately. Bring both the legs down, just chill out for a sec. A lot of interesting feels. And then I'm going to switch which foot is in the strap. just going to slide my left foot into the strap. If you're not using a strap, don't worry about it. Step one, we will do a single leg march and bring the left leg up. So imagine we're flipped over and we're on the right knee and we're on the left foot and we're hanging out, maybe hanging onto 2 blocks. So we're just relaxing right here. And get this, we're gonna then, if you want to, extend the right leg out long without locking the knee. So now we're in a low lunge, but on our back. And I'm going to slide my right leg back in to give myself a little bit more support for this next one. And now extending the left leg, oops, excuse my hip hop, extending the left leg and stacking it above the hip. So we have the added benefit of the weight of that leg just like landing in the hip, and we're hanging out here. This is the beginning of half splits. I'm just chilling out right here. Whatever. It's all cool. Just hanging out. If you would like, you could pull a little bit on the strap or on the leg. Maybe bring that leg a little bit closer. If you would like to, you can extend the right leg again. Guess what? We're in the beginning of the splits. Now I'm going to ease up on the strap, bring my leg a little bit back to neutral. I'm going to scooch my right foot in again, back and forth for a little bit more support. And then this time, I'm going to bend the left knee, bring the thigh in close to my ribs, and I'm going to, there we go, take the leg out to the right a little bit. Now I've got pretty long arms, so I can hold on to my foot. If you can, that's great. If you are holding on with a strap, that's awesome. Some folks like to loop the arms behind the leg and hang out here. Whatever you want. And then if you feel really comfortable, then you extend that leg again. This whole sequence is like just softening and allowing our focus to be on the hips, allowing our focus to be on the legs instead of how the hell am I going to hold myself up in this pose? That's why I like to do these on the back. And then release the strap or ease up on the strap and bring, oh, may want an extra support. I'm gonna guide my left foot back down to the mat and ditch the strap for now. And then pause. It was an awful lot on the hips, maybe the hip flexors. So let's be gentle next. We'll do supine pigeon. Cross the right ankle on top of the left knee. Allow the right knee to fall out to the right. If you're very mobile in this, like me, you don't need to go to the full range of your external rotation. Stay at this kind of neutral external rotation. Now you can remain here. You could bring the left leg closer in. Now, some of us are like, one's too little, one's too much. So kind of the Goldilocks version is taking a block and putting it underneath your left foot. So you're kind of half and a half, you're halfway between, and you can hang out like that. You're just being sweet and patient and kind to your own hips. Then we'll switch left ankle on top of the right knee. And remember, each side is different, so don't necessarily jet to what you did on the previous side. Just experiment. Say, okay, maybe here, maybe with my foot on the block, maybe with my leg all the way in. Who knows? Whatever is right. Y'all are going to hang out there and breathe. And as you're ready, you can release that side, and we are all going to make our way into Shavasana. Yay, we made it, we did it. So y'all, we can take the support that we need, right? So probably something underneath your knees, maybe a blanket, maybe you're on your side, maybe you're not doing Shavasana, maybe you're climbing into bed, whatever it is that you want to do that's going to serve you the most and help you feel the most connected and snuggled. That's what I want you to do. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and I will be back. Enjoy. All right, my lovely people. Please know you're welcome to stay longer in Shavasana. You get to choose your own adventure. You can leave the group now. You can mute me. If you're going to move along, then make your way. Well, bring a little deeper breath into your body first. And then gently move yourself over to one side. And then help yourself all the way up to seated. And then find that spot where your sitting bones are rooted, your head is stacked above your spine, and you, for a few breaths, can just sit. Now, I end class with 3 thank yous and a deep bow of gratitude. And you all need to know how very grateful I am for each one of you, for y'all popping up on this Zoom call every week and caring for one another and creating this space with me. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I bow to each one of you. Now I'll unmute everybody. Oh, I think you can unmute yourself now. And then if you'd like to stay and say hi on the Brady Bunch chat, you can.
Hello.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday.
I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy. Those of you in Wisconsin, enjoy playing in the snow. Those of you not in Wisconsin,
Enjoy playing in the rain.
enjoy not getting 10 inches of snow.
When does
It's supposed to start tomorrow. The last I checked, yeah, the last I checked, it was 4 inches tomorrow and 6 inches on Saturday. So yeah, the snowblower business is might start booming again. So
Good.
Wow.
yeah, we've cleared the decks, so you never know. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you. Love you.
Ruthie,
Bye.
thank
Have a
you.
good weekend, lovely people.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.